Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of our IELTS Band 9 podcast. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into one of the most interesting and emotional IELTS Speaking Part 2 topics. Describe a difficult decision you made.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mia, and I have to say, this topic hits close to home. Almost everyone, at some point in their life, faces a tough decision, and how you talk about it in the IELTS exam can make a huge difference to your speaking score.
Exactly. This topic allows you to show your emotional range, your ability to organize ideas logically, and your use of advanced vocabulary and idiomatic expressions, all key elements of a Band 9 answer.
So today, we'll give you a complete Band 9 model answer, break it down for vocabulary and grammar, and teach you how to sound confident, natural, and fluent. The cue card. All right, let's read out the official IELTS Speaking Part 2 cue card. Describe a difficult decision you made. You should say what the decision was, when you made the decision, what the result was, and explain why it was difficult for you.
This cue card looks simple at first glance, but it's actually quite deep. It tests how well you can reflect on personal experience and use storytelling to express yourself.
Band 9 sample answer.
Okay, let me start by giving a full Band 9 example. Imagine I'm the test taker. To be completely honest, one of the toughest decisions I've ever made was choosing between continuing my stable corporate job and pursuing a master's degree abroad. It happened around 3 years ago when I was working as a marketing executive in a multinational company. On the surface, it might sound like a straightforward decision. After all, studying abroad is every professional's dream. But for me, it was a genuine dilemma. I was earning well. My parents relied on me financially, and leaving my comfort zone to start from scratch in a foreign country seemed intimidating. For weeks, I was torn between my heart and my mind. My heart told me to go after my dreams, while my mind warned me about financial risks and uncertainty. After a lot of sleepless nights and endless discussions with my family, I finally decided to take a leap of faith and accept the offer from a university in the UK. The first few months were incredibly tough. I struggled with cultural shock, homesickness, and managing my expenses. But slowly, I began to adapt. I made new friends, joined student communities, and built resilience. Looking back now, I can confidently say that it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It wasn't just about getting a degree. It was about personal growth, independence, and proving to myself that I was capable of surviving outside my comfort zone. That experience completely changed my perspective on life.
Vocabulary breakdown. Wow, that was a beautiful, emotionally rich answer. Let's unpack it for the listeners.
Sure. The first key phrase I used was leap of faith. It means making a bold decision even when you're unsure about the outcome.
Exactly. That's a perfect idiomatic expression for this topic. You also said, torn between my heart and my mind, which is a great way to express emotional conflict.
Yes, and I used comfort zone, which is another commonly used yet powerful phrase in English. It shows self-awareness and personal growth.
I also noticed cultural shock and resilience. These are advanced vocabulary words that add depth to your story.
Right, but notice I didn't overcomplicate it. The secret to Band 9 speaking isn't using fancy words. It's using natural, precise, and contextually appropriate vocabulary.
Let's give our listeners a few more idioms they can use for this topic.
Sure, here are some of my favorites. At the crossroads, when you have to make an important decision. Weigh the pros and cons. Think about the advantages and disadvantages. Follow your gut. Trust your instinct. In hindsight, looking back at a past decision and evaluating it.
Yes, and I really like at the crossroads. You could say something like, at that point in my life, I was at a crossroads. I had to decide whether to stay in my job or chase my dream abroad.
That sounds fluent, emotional, and very natural.
Grammar focus. Now, let's talk about grammar. You used a variety of tenses really well in your answer.
Right. For storytelling, I mixed past simple, past continuous, and past perfect. For example, I had been working there for 3 years before I decided to quit. That structure shows the order of events clearly and sounds advanced.
Also, you used connectors like after all, but for me, on the surface, and looking back now. These connect ideas smoothly, which is essential for coherence and cohesion. Part 3 discussion. Okay, now imagine the examiner asks follow-up questions about decision-making. Let's go through some Band 9 responses. Question: do you think people nowadays find it hard to make decisions?
Absolutely. Modern life offers countless options, from career choices to relationships, and sometimes the abundance of options leads to decision fatigue. People overthink, fear missing out, and end up doubting themselves.
Nice use of decision fatigue. That's a modern academic phrase. It shows awareness of psychological vocabulary.
Exactly, it's natural but sophisticated.
Next question. Do you think young people should make their own decisions?
I strongly believe they should. Making independent decisions helps them build maturity and confidence. Of course, parents' guidance is important, but spoon-feeding every decision prevents them from developing critical thinking skills.
That's such a balanced answer. It's not extreme, it's reflective.
Yes, examiners love balanced answers. You can show both sides and then state your opinion clearly.
Storytelling tips. Now, let's give our listeners some quick storytelling strategies for this cue card.
Tip number 1. Don't panic if you can't think of a big decision. It doesn't have to be life-changing, it just needs to sound personal and real. For example, choosing which university to attend, deciding to learn a new skill, or even quitting social media for a while. All can work.
Exactly. IELTS isn't testing your life story. It's testing your ability to communicate naturally. You can even invent a story as long as it sounds believable.
Tip number 2. Add emotion. Words like, I felt torn, I hesitated, I doubted myself, I finally made up my mind. These show emotional vocabulary and fluency.
And tip number 3, always finish with reflection. The examiner loves when candidates conclude with something like, looking back, I'm proud of that decision because it helps me grow as a person.
Fluency practice. Let's give our listeners a short fluency practice exercise.
Repeat after us. I was at a crossroads in my life. I weighed the pros and cons carefully. I decided to take a leap of faith. Looking back, it was worth it.
Perfect. Practice saying these lines out loud with natural rhythm and pauses. Don't rush. Fluency is about flow, not speed.
Many students make the mistake of memorizing an essay-like answer. It sounds robotic.
Yes, and another common mistake is using irrelevant vocabulary. Some learners use random complex words like paradoxical or metamorphosis just to sound advanced, but that's not natural for a spoken response.
Exactly. Simplicity with clarity beats complexity with confusion. Reflective conversation. Alex, do you remember a time you almost changed your mind about that decision?
Oh yes, absolutely. I remember the night before my flight, I actually questioned myself. I was sitting in my room, staring at my packed bags, thinking, am I doing the right thing? My dad just smiled and said, sometimes, son, you don't know the right path until you walk it. That sentence gave me courage.
That's powerful. And that's exactly what examiners want, emotional storytelling with real feelings. Final reflection. So, to sum it up, a Band 9 answer on a difficult decision includes emotional storytelling, logical structure, idioms, and reflection.
Yes, and remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's connection. Speak like you're telling a story to a friend. That's how you sound fluent, confident, and human.
Beautifully said, Alex. All right, everyone, that's it for today's IELTS Band 9 podcast. Describe a difficult decision you made.
We hope this helped you not just understand how to answer, but how to speak with confidence and emotion.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, like, and share it with other IELTS learners. And remember, the more you listen, the more fluent you become.
See you in the next episode, and until then, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep believing in your potential.